Hi guys, my name is Dami and welcome to Sew Addicts. So do you guys ever just sit around wondering what happened to your pants? I mean, I literally stared at all my jeans wondering how they got so faded. You wear them a couple of times and they just get so faded, and then you have to go out and buy new ones. And I'm here to tell you guys that you could return your pants to its original states for less than $5. Guess $5. So today's video is I'm going to be showing you guys how to re-dye your faded jeans back to its original color. Whether yellow, burgundy, purple, or whatever color it is, it's going to return back to its original color. So for this video, I'm going to be showing you guys how I re-dyed my faded black pants to its original state. And of course, as an extra added bonus, I'm going to be showing you guys how to transform your pants into something new and fresh for the season. So now we're going to go through the materials we're going to use for the dyeing process. The first most important thing you need for the dyeing process, of course, is your dye. So I got the RIT dye. I got this from Joann's Fabric. This is powder dye. You could also use liquid dye. It's basically a one box, one jean kind of thing. So if you want to dye like, I don't know, 50 jeans, you probably want to get more dye than this. The more dye you use, the darker your pants are going to be. So, of course, with this, you also want to get water. So you want to get at least 3 or 4 gallons of water. You don't have to go to the store to buy no fancy water. You just want to get hot running tap water, and that's what you're going to actually use to soak your pants in and your dye. With that, you also want to get salt. Yes, we're going to be using salt. This is going to allow your fabric absorb the dye better. So you want to get a good amount of salt. We're going to be using, I think, about a cup of salt. So you want to get a good amount of salt to pour into the dye. And I'm going to show you guys later on in the video. So another thing that helps the dye actually absorb better is also dishwashing liquid. Yes, I know this sounds weird, right? But this is going to help it swish around a little bit to absorb the dye better. You literally only need just a squirt of this, so you don't have to get anything big or fancy like I did. I only got this just to show you guys what I'm talking about, but you only literally need a squirt. So get yourself some dishwashing liquid. And the final thing we need for the dyeing process is a pair of gloves. So make sure to get gloves. You want to be really cautious about this. You don't want the dye to get all over your hands. I happened to mistakenly touch the dye, and it's been on my hands for like 3 days. I mean, it comes off, but just don't make yourself have to worry about it, and just get some cheap gloves so your hands can stay protected. And now moving on to the extra added bonus I was telling you guys about, we're going to be using some fancy ropes. So I got these ropes from Joann's Fabrics, and by the way, I linked all the materials I use down below for you guys to click on so you could just see everything, and in case you want to purchase them as well. So we're going to be using these fancy ropes for the transformation later on in the video, where you can interchange them to whatever suits your mood, the day of the week, or whatever season we're in. Basically, in complementary to the ropes as well, we're also going to be using eyelets. So these eyelets are what we're going to be passing the ropes through. I'm going to be showing you guys later on how to put these into your jeans. And to help me putting this in, you want to get a hammer. So just get a small hammer. This was laying around and this was the only hammer I had. So you could get something small. It doesn't have to be this huge and heavy, but you could get something small because we're going to be using that to nail the eyelet into the jeans. And last but not the least, we're going to be using a lighter. So I'm going to be showing you guys later on in the video what we're actually going to be using the lighter for. So make sure you stick around. So now we're just going to dive right into the dyeing process.
So this is what my black jeans look like before. As you can see, they're really faded. They're not even black anymore. So to start the dyeing process, we're going to be needing about 3 to 4 gallons of hot tap water. And of course the RIT dye, like I said earlier. We also need a cup of salt, 2 cups of hot water in a separate bowl, the dishwashing liquid, and we need a separate bowl to mix the salt and the hot water. And of course our gloves, and also the pant that you're going to be dyeing. Now you put on your gloves to put the dye in the water. So I emptied all the contents of my dye into the water because the more dye you pour in the water, the darker your pants are actually going to be. So if you don't want them that dark, you probably just want to use a little bit of dye. Make sure to swish that around a little bit, and then I instantly tested the dye by taking a scrap piece of fabric just to see how dark my dye actually is. So now we're actually going to take the empty container and put our salt in that bowl and mix it with the hot water like I said before. So make sure to swish that around just a little bit and add it to your dye content. So now we're gonna grab our dishwashing liquid and you just wanna squirt just a little into the dye. This allows the fabric to be more absorbent and the dye actually seep into your jeans a lot better. Then we're gonna grab our jeans and fully immerse them into the dye. So you wanna soak your jeans into the dye so no parts are basically out of the dye or undyed. So we're gonna leave this for a maximum of 60 minutes. I left mine in there for about 45 minutes, which seemed to do the trick. But if you feel like you wanna leave yours a little longer, so feel free to go ahead. So make sure to do that, and you should turn your jeans every 15 to 20 minutes. This allows the dye work its way throughout your jeans so you don't miss any spots. So after this, you want to run your jeans under cold water. Run it under cold water till it's very clear and you don't really see the dye anymore. After running under water, you could also throw it in the washing machine to just wash under the gentle cycle. And when you're done with that, you air dry your pants and you're pretty much done with the process. So now our pants are pretty much dry, and as you can see, they're way darker than they were before. So now we're going to be working on the outer lower side of our pants for the transformation. So I'm measuring about 15 inches up all the way to my knee. You could put your pants on to figure out where your knee's at, and you could usually tell by wrinkles at the side. So now we're measuring 1/2 inch down, and from that 1/2 inch mark, you want to measure another 1/2 inch down. After measuring the 1/2 inch down, you want to measure 1/2 inch out from the middle seam and 1/2 inch out all again on the other side. So then you just want to draw the 1/2 inch line all the way to the bottom of the pants. Make sure you do that on both sides as well. So that's a 1/2 inch down, a 1/2 inch down, and a 1/2 inch on both sides. So now we're going to be cutting through the middle seam of our pants. So make sure to cut through very neatly down the line to the middle seam. And when you get to the top half, you're gonna stop just at that point right there. And we're gonna angle our scissors to all the way on the corner right there. So you wanna slash into that point. Make sure to not go past the point, and make sure to slash into the corner on both sides. So we're going to be folding this fabric underneath, and this is where our eyelets are going to go. Make sure to trim off all the excess seam allowance inside the pants. This comes with the pants already, so you want to trim that fullness away so the eyelets can lay properly. So now we're going to proceed to the machine, and we're going to be folding the seam allowance inside so we can sew it down on the sewing machine. So here you could take a couple of pins just to make sure, put some couple of pins in there so everything could lay down properly and you could have a guideline when you're sewing. So the square up is also going to be turned up, and it's going to look something like this. So we're going to be sewing in a one direction pattern on the sewing machine, like that, and like that. If you don't know how to sew like that, then you probably just want to sew each row separately. So now on the sewing machine, I'm sewing about 3/8 of an inch, a little less than a 1/2 inch, which was our seam allowance. And when I got to the corner at the top of the pants, I'm back tacking to make sure that everything is steady and it stays strong. And then I just sew the 3/8 all the way to the bottom at the other side. Just to show you guys how it's supposed to come out, the top is tacked and the sides are also tacked as well. Now to prep for the eyelet, I'm measuring 2 inches down from the top of our previous point. So 2 inches down all the way down the pants. This is where our eyelet is going to go. So you want to create a small hole right there on the seam allowance. I'm using a thread snip. You can use anything to create your hole. This is where the eyelet, the washer, the back of the eyelet is going to go in the pants, and we're also going to use our tools to help us nail the eyelet in the pants. So put the eyelet that size facing up into the pants, and you want to make sure to pass this through the hole. Make sure it passes through very well. And after that, you also want to put the washer on top. This allows it to be more steady and it doesn't graze your skin. So the back of the washer also goes right there on the top, and you want to put all 3 of these on the hollow side of the tool. So after placing that, you want to take the other side of the tool, place the pointy side right on the top of the eyelet, and we're just going to hit that a couple of times gently. So that's done it for the eyelet. It literally takes a couple of seconds. Now you want to do that across each point. This is how it should look like. And now I have about 14 eyelets going down on both sides. Feel free to add as many as you want. So now we're going to be lacing our pants. So we're going to basically lace them like you lace your shoes. As you can see, I'm going with the crisscross method. So make sure to also not cut off your ropes just yet because we don't know how much we need. So I'm just lacing that without cutting the ropes all the way down the bottom of the pants. And you want to make sure that when you're doing this, you also want to add a little bit of easiness and slackness to the side of the pants. Don't forget, you also got to put this on, so you want to make sure that it's not too tight, and you could always adjust them later on. So we're going to do that all the way to the bottom of the pants, and when we get to the bottom of the pants, now we cut the ropes away. So I'm measuring about 10 inches. I'm giving myself 10 inches seam allowance because I feel like that's going to be enough. Feel free to give yourself more if you want. So I'm measuring about 10 inches, and with that, I'm able to tie my pants whatever way I want, into a bow or anything you would decide to tie your pants in. And now to finish up with the process, we are going to be using the lighter and burning the ends of the rope. This allows it to stay put and not fray at all. So make sure you get a scrap of fabric just to make sure that you're not touching it and it's too hot. So please be cautious about this. And when you're done, make sure to do that for both sides, and you're pretty much done with the process. And I hope you love the way your pants came out.
Again, thank you so much for watching this video. I really hope you love the way your pants came out, and I hope you learned a lot and you picked up a few things and actually going into your closet, picking up those faded jeans and transforming them to their original state, instead of going out to buy those $50, $60 pair of jeans for no reason. So I really appreciate you guys' feedback, so make sure you leave me a comment and maybe offer suggestions for my next video. Make sure to also like this video and subscribe to my channel, and I hope to catch you sporadics another time.